Amen. Yesterday, we started on a very important last segment within this series in the conference that Pastor Grace has put together with Washington and the team around them. Yesterday, I shared quite a bit on the vision of the written note of the Lord. And in that conversation, I shared on how stunning, how shocking it is that the Lord can write a note and send down. That also talks of how desperate He is that the church prepares. Otherwise, Jesus may be humiliated. That is the fear. And He doesn't want the Lord to be humiliated. When Jesus went to the cross, He was humiliated. The devil laughed. They spat on His face. I will read for you some of them, just what He went through. The book of Psalm 22. What the Lord went through on the cross before we begin this, just that you may understand why it's important you enter. Salmo 22, Psalm 22. And he says, Psalm 22. Just what the Lord went through the cross. We can also find it in Isaiah 52, but I want to go through this as we start as a foundation. The cross is the foundation. Once you'll understand this, then you will know the importance of you preparing that Jesus may not be humiliated. For me, I say, when the Lord showed me how His Son was crucified, after that vision, I broke down. For 3 months, I became dysfunctional. I used to weep and collapse. I used to drive and park by the highway, the roadside. I used to pull over because I could not drive anymore. I wept and collapsed. A little bit more than what is written here, He showed me, because He also took me under to see what Jesus went through under before He resurrected. Now, Psalm 22 says, my God, why have you forsaken me? That was on the cross. Why are you so far from saving me? So far from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. By night, and I am not silent. Yet you are enthroned as the Holy One. You are the praise of Israel. In you our fathers put their trust. They trusted and you delivered them. They cried to you and were saved. In you they trusted and were not disappointed. But I am a worm and not a man. If you want to understand this, when Jesus came from the glory He was with the Father, the glory with which He was with the Father in the beginning, when He came from that splendor of glory and authority, and He agreed to download, He accepted to download all His glory for your sake, and turned into a human being that walked on our dusty roads. It was like a man turned into a worm. A man, a human being, become a worm. I want you to understand this. He says, but I am a worm and not a man, scorned by men and despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They hurl insults, shaking their heads. He trusts in the Lord. Let the Lord rescue him. Let Him deliver him, since He delights in him. That's how they mocked Him. Yet you brought me out of the womb. You made me trust in you even at my mother's breast. From birth, I was cast upon you. From my mother's womb, you have been my God. Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help me. And there is no one to help. Many bulls surround me, strong bulls of Bashan encircle me. Roaring lions tear their prey. Roaring lions tearing their prey, open their mouths wide against me. I am poured out like water. Remember when the spear pierced his left hand side? When it was pierced and then he poured out. That was essentially the mixture of blood and the tissue fluid. In fact, let me explain to you this. The Messiah was so beaten, so bad. I don't want to describe what I saw. But he was beaten so bad that his internal organs swelled and burst. In fact, he would have been declared clinically dead at the time he was being crucified. They should have, if he was taken to a hospital, they would declare him clinically dead. Because the internal organs, they sipped up the fluid because of the beatings, and then they burst inside. Because of the tremendous pressure of the beating he went through. I don't know whether you understand the price of your salvation. And so, he says, I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of their joints. They beat him silly until the joints were dislocated. He's talking about the bones out of their joints. My heart has turned to wax. It has melted away within me. The Messiah literally died of a broken heart. Because he could not believe that the same people he had loved so much, he had fed them, he had blessed them, he had healed them, delivered them, and even resurrected them. Then when they turned around, they beat him until he himself was shocked. In fact, he fell down with the cross to the point where he fell down and did this when they were hitting the head. It was rough. It was bad. My strength, he says, I almost lost myself. He says, my heart is turned to wax. His heart melted, the heart bursted. It has melted away within me. My strength is dried up like a pot's herd. My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. You know the reason he asked, he said, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty. That is the part that brought me down in that dream. When finally he cried about the thirst. Peter promised to be there, but he was not there. In fact, he became so lonely to fulfill prophecy, because the prophecy had said that the Messiah would be crucified on the hill while all his friends would be far away looking. So Peter had to fulfill prophecy. He was far, but he promised he would be here. So that's what broke the heart of the Lord. He was alone. He was even looking for mere water to drink, because he had lost all the fluids after they stabbed him. And so he became so thirsty that the tongue stuck on the roof of the mouth. When he was talking, it was sticking there. That's how bad it was. But yet, there was nobody there to give him water to drink in that horrendous thirst. And then he cried out to the soldiers, excuse me, I'm thirsty. And he cried to him, to the same soldiers who had just stabbed him. I'm thirsty. He cried to them. I don't want to describe everything I saw. I wept for 3 months. And the Father deliberately showed me the crucifixion of Christ to break me down, to totally destroy me. And so he says,